So this isn't really an unboxing video because there's no box, just a bunch of files. So just another level of lame. So there are some people on YouTube promoting the Nail the Mix website, but they didn't actually tell what's inside, what you get. So I thought, why not make a little video to just show what's inside. So if you don't know what Nail the Mix is, we're probably on the same page because I just signed up yesterday and I don't really know how it works yet. So they give you multi-tracks from some professional sessions, from the real studios, from the real producers, musicians, etc. And they give you the files, then they answer your questions, then you mix it, then they mix it and they show you how they do it. And then in the end you have some kind, you might enter some kind of competition with your mix, so you upload your mix and the other users just choose which one is the best, and they give you some prizes like, I don't know, plugins, recording equipment, or I don't know. There are a few pages. They have this friendly page when they show you the tour of the Nail the Mix system, and they have another pages like dates, I mean the deadlines, the poll when there is some kind of, well, this kind of competition. So it looks like all previous polls are already finished and the current one haven't started yet, so there isn't anything to show you. So the most important page, the most important part of this thing is of course the multi-tracks. So in my case I have 3 pages. One of them is, I think this is the track that everyone gets, so if it's from 2015 and everyone who signs up get this track. And of course there is the current month's multi-track, which is F.E.A.R Everything and Rise by Papa Roach. Can you believe it? And the next one it's December's track, and it's not December yet, so anyway, each song has a page, and on this page they have some information like again, deadlines, first prize and stuff, and there are some legal notices for each song, and I assume they're different for each time. I think in this case, for big band, just the most strict, so I can probably play you the tracks so without getting in trouble. And anyway, they have some notes about the song, like how it was recorded, what did they use, a little story that may help you make some decisions or better understand the session, the song, and some rules. And of course you get the files. In this case it's like about gigabyte, I think, of archives, and if you unpack it, it will be more. And they also have the track from the album, so you can use it as a reference. And they actually do not recommend to listen to this because it may bias you and influence your decisions, and it's maybe not right. They have the Q&A sessions, and in my case I just signed up yesterday. It's what is it, November 23rd, so it's the end of the month, and I apparently missed the Q&A, and they are nice enough to put the recording of the live Q&A session so you can download it and watch it. And if you sign up at the beginning of the month, then you can ask some questions. I'm not sure they answer all the questions. I'm not sure, I haven't watched the whole thing yet, I just started watching like first 5 minutes. But looks like it's still quite insightful, useful, and so on. So anyway, let me show you the other track. So this is, I guess it's the track that comes with every month's subscription, so regardless of what months you sign up, it's you get this file. And this is technical death metal song with lots of blast beats and screams and all that stuff. And in this case, it has a different legal restrictions. So in this case, you can actually use the portion of this song, like 45 seconds of this song, as a part of your portfolio if you are providing services as a mixing engineer. You can put it on your web page. And another thing I forgot to mention, they looks like every month they throw in some kind of challenge. For example, they don't include some vocal harmonies tracks in your multi-track session, so you have to be creative and work around that. Or in this case, they say, for example, there is no acoustic kick drum recordings, only MIDI files. So it's either they just didn't include it, so to make your life a little bit more challenging, or probably they didn't record this at the studio with microphone. Maybe they used kick pads. So anyway, I figured I can show you what's inside the session. I'm not sure I will play it back to you. Maybe I'll just show you the WAV files, the waveforms, to make it like a real unboxing video. I haven't seen yet what's inside the archives, what kind of files do they include, so it will be like live reaction, unboxing, exposed thing. So it may take some time to unpack this, because there is like I said, about a gigabyte of files, so that's a lot. By the way, did they tell what kind of sampling rate, what kind of oh yeah, they did. So it's 32-bit, I guess 32-bit floating point, and 48 kilohertz. So yeah, that explains the side of the files. It's really interesting what's inside, because my main interest is not so much in mixing, but more from a producer's point of view. So essentially it's how to get to that point, to this number of files, and not what to do with them. But well, I'll mix them anyway. I'm not sure I will enter the contest in time. I probably enter the contest with the next month, when they will be mixing Gojira. Yeah, but I'm really interested to see the sources, the stems from such famous bands, because I assume they had a really big budget recording this. And by the way, I did a cover of this song maybe last year, or maybe in the beginning of the year, I'm not sure. And I remember when I was transcribing it, there was at least double track vocals all the way, so they had a lot of 808s, electronic drums and real drums, and there was a lot of there was a lot going on with this mix. I'm just thinking, how do I start? I think let's go with the drums. So okay, they have 10 tracks of drums. Let's just throw it in the session and separate tracks. Once again, I'm not sure I'll be playing you the stems because I can get in trouble for that. But you can see. Can you see it? Yeah, it's recording. Looks like they didn't include a click track, so it's on the page. It says 140. So usually what I do when I go to the studio, I do MIDI track with the metronome, and I embed tempo map and also markers inside the MIDI file, so the producer can take the MIDI file and import in the project first, and then the project tempo and all the markers are automatically set up, so it's a bit easier to work. And in this case, this looks like they don't have this, so I can do this manually, and bam, 140. By the way, they didn't. Yeah, looks like they didn't tell which microphone did they use, like which set of microphones did they use to mic up the drum kit, the guitars. So it's I would like to know, but it's not very important to mix. So anyway, why not? So they have a hi-hat track, two kick tracks. So it's one of them is, I think if you're watching this, you probably know what it is. It's like when they put a microphone inside the kick drum and put it against the beater on the other side of the drum head. Kick sub is obviously a sub kick, so there are two kick files. Looks like they are in phase, but you might want to a bit time align them a bit, because there is a little distance between them, maybe a foot or two, and so the thing is they provide the files as they are, like raw files, so you do have to deal with the phase issues, or in this case, like this little time delays between the two microphones. So that's pretty cool. So it's overheads. It's okay. It's one of them is called mono, other one is called stereo. So they put stereo overheads, like left and right, into one file. Okay, why not? And overhead mono, I'm not sure what it is. Probably they had like two overheads above the drum kit, which they put in one stereo file, and then they had one extra mic, probably facing the snare drum, or just dead center, I don't know. So why not? Okay. Also the room mic stereo, of course. So again, they looks like all the stereo mics, like overheads and room mics, they put consolidated into a single stereo file. Why not? Anyway, two snare mics, one snare top, another one snare bottom. Okay, let's. Oh, that's quite. Oh no, I'm looking into the wrong files. It's quite hard to tell if they are in phase or out of phase. I think they are supposed to be out of phase, but I have to listen with my so I have to listen rather than look into the waveforms. I can't really tell, but I assume they are out of phase. And two tones, 13, 16, I assume that's the side of the toms, 13-inch, 16-inch. And okay, looks like they use only two toms on the kit, why not? And to be honest, I was expecting like maybe 20 different mics, so when they come to, I assume when they came into the studio, they had like a lot of mics set up in the room, and they record everything, and it's up to producer which mics to choose to put in the mix. For example, they could have had like several pairs of room mics in different places, maybe facing the walls, or maybe one of them facing the I don't know, four in the ceiling, and maybe in different positions. But I'm quite surprised. It's rather simple. It's like only a dozen of tracks, only bare essentials, and so obviously it's enough to mix. But for example, they don't have a snare trigger. Yeah, for example, they could have included the snare trigger, so that it will be easier to clean up the snare track, or like I said, several pair of room mics. Or so anyway, let's look into the other tracks. For example, programming bass. It's okay. So it's bass DI. So it's not. It's a raw bass track. Looks like it. So they didn't mic up the bass cap or something. And oh my god, wow, that's a lot of files. Wow. Okay. I'm just looking into the names of the files, like booyah, bomb.com kids. Okay, looks like I was a little bit too early about my words about their session being simple and minimalistic. Look at that. It's like 24 different files of I don't know what it is. So probably it's like yeah, it's like their 808 kits, basement bass, bomb.com kit, booyah 2. What? No idea, honestly. They also have some B and C files. Okay, so I remember they have some effects like stutter on this song. Okay, so anyway, bass programming. Okay, guitars. So guitar-wise, it's pretty simple. They have one written guitar, double track, and then on top of that they have the another written guitar double track, so it's like quad tracked guitars. Extra guitar, maybe some overdubs, leads. I honestly don't remember. Probably they did have some. By the way, I have the my session opened. Also, it's my cover that I put on YouTube. and looks like it doesn't have any lead guitar, so that's interesting. If my cover doesn't have any lead guitars, probably there isn't any lead guitars, but there is, so it's like, wow. Okay, I have to look into this. Anyway, quad track guitars, something guitar ref B and C, no idea, and another guitar ref 2, again, I have no idea what it is, and some extra guitars. Maybe I should view the volume, take a listen to this, and I'll tell you what it is. Oh, okay, so I listened to these 3 files, so apparently it's something like lead guitars, overdubs with the octave pedal, maybe whammy pedal, probably BNC is the name of the actual effects, I don't know, but apparently they did have some lead guitar overdubs and they drowned it in the mix, so it wasn't really audible, it wasn't really apparent, but it is there. And also they have, oh, okay, so also they have DI tracks for all the guitars. Let me check real quick if my sound is still recording. Is it? Yeah, it is. Anyway, DI tracks. Alright, so they had the written guitars in the form of double track stereo file, but in case of DI files they have just 4 separate files. It looks like it's not time-aligned, it's not time-aligned, but it's quite tight. So yeah, good job. Anyway, DI tracks are for all the quad tracks, intro, riff, the extra guitars, but not all of them. Anyway, the only folder we have left, wow, look at that, 26 files, wow. I just thought for a moment they might be just different takes, so you have to choose between them. You may choose just 1 or 2 tracks, but looks like they all the different tracks, so it's more likely that all these tracks ended up on the record. Yeah, this is definitely. Oh, probably the back vocals are different takes, but yeah. Kane, who's Kane? Kane. Who's Kane? There's no Kane in the band. Who's Kane? I don't know. It's 73 tracks. Yeah, and how much did they have to pay for the to the mixing engineer to mix all of that? Because it's like a lot of work. Yeah, I'll probably spend maybe a day or 2 with these tracks just to trying to mix this, and probably I'll lose my mind halfway down the way because that's a lot. I have no idea how they mix it. So I haven't missed the mixing session. I am really looking forward to seeing how will they deal with all of that. Let me show real quick the other track, The Succession of Flesh by Cognizance. Anyway, the death metal band. Let's take a quick look into their tracks. Oh, wait, cancel? I have an idea. So they do have a MIDI file. Yeah, look at that. That's what I was talking about in the beginning of the video. So this guy, they actually included an empty MIDI file, but it has had the tempo map, so my project was automatically set up to the project tempo, and looks like they have a lot of tempo changes, time signature changes, and they were nice enough to include all these markers into the project. Good job. Anyway, let's look into the other files. I already seen a file called Nasty. What's Nasty? I have no idea. Vocal Frank 1, Frank 2, 6 Scream files. So they apparently have, oops, not timeline. So apparently they have double-tracked Scream vocals, and they have 3 separate tracks of screaming vocals. Vocal Frank, probably the. Let me listen real quick to the files. So apparently Nasty is some kind of vocal overdub. Everything is screams and growls, but they have like 9 tracks of screaming vocals. So yeah, at this time it's 50 tracks. They have a few double-tracked guitars. Looks like the guitar tracks are only provided as DI tracks, so they have double-tracked rhythm guitar, some rhythm guitar, overdubs, lead guitar, not double-tracked, just 2 different tracks. Another lead guitar, another lead guitar, another lead guitar, another lead guitar. Okay, why not? Okay, 2 creepy guitars. Are those DI or? So now, creepy guitars are apparently some clean guitars with tremolo and probably something else. Yeah, extra 1, 2. Have no idea what it is. What the fuck is this? Okay, extra 1 and 2 is some more screams. So it's 11 screaming tracks. In this session they had 2 toms with a top-facing mics and 2 4 toms with top mics and bottom mics. Anyway, drum splash H splash R. What is H? I have no idea. Usually R stands for the room, but it's obviously not the room mic. So it looks like they have recorded the entire drum kit, and then they recorded just 1 cymbal on top of that, and then they have recorded the another cymbal on top of that. They just recorded what they could, and then they recorded everything they couldn't on top of that as a separate tracks. Yeah, there's overheads, but for some reason the left one is called H instead of L. Okay, so in this case they apparently have 3 pairs of room mics. Again, like, it's what I was expecting from Papa Roach session, but surprise surprise, they did the recording the simple way. So it looks like these guys recorded only track bass as well, no sans amps. Then they have a bunch of cymbal overdubs. So like I said, they have recorded the whole kit, but they couldn't play over the cymbals. They wanted to sound on the record, so they after they recorded the drums, they recorded the several cymbals. Like they recorded the China, then they recorded the other China, then they recorded the hi-hat, then they recorded the other hi-hat, then they recorded the right, the splash, the other splash, then they played the toms, and looks like all of these toms are separate recordings. It's not recorded the way it sounds on the record, so it's not like the drummer played everything in one take. They just play the bare essentials, and then they played every other drums on top of that, so separately. So they played first tom, then they recorded the second tom, then they recorded the third tom, then they recorded the fourth tom, and then they did the same with like 7 cymbals. I can already see that there is no bleed in between for example, the right hits. So there's no snare bleed, and probably they edited, but I don't think so. So it's probably just the way they recorded. One more thing I wanted to check real quick, if they did they provided the kick drum as a MIDI file. I'm wondering if there is a kick drum in the overhead. So just I'm wondering if there's did they use a kick drum, acoustic kick drum in the session, or did they just add a MIDI file on top of that. I can definitely hear the kick drum on the overhead, so that means they did actually use acoustic kick drum in the session, but they probably didn't mic it or they didn't record it, so they put a separate MIDI file, and the MIDI file is I think that's either a trigger or a kick pad, because it doesn't look quantized or timeline, so it looks like a real human performance. And they have some weird contraption at the end of the file. What? They probably just made it for fun. Yeah, guys, what the fuck is that? So with these two projects, I probably just play around. I won't enter the contest or do anything serious about that. I just do a lot of study, research, and dig into it. And probably I'll try to enter the poll with the next month's track. Yeah, probably I'll do this in December. Probably I'll try to mix the Gajira song and enter the poll and see how much do I suck at mixing. So yeah, I'm really surprised that they pulled this off, not only with some let's say not so popular bands, but also with some top tier bands like Papa Roach, Gajira. What else did they have? Periphery. They had Chelsea Green. Mostly, of course, some heavier bands, but anyway, I think that was a lot of work with legal departments and so on, but wow, guys, great job. I'm so into this, so yeah, looking forward to start working with these sessions. I'm quite excited, honestly. Yeah, the end. So, thanks for watching.